Viruses, infections, disorders. How do we describe diseases? In this lesson, we'll explore key medical terms that explain different illnesses with definitions, real-world examples, and images. Let's talk about the vocabulary of disease. Degenerative as adjective. Characterized by or relating to degeneration, especially of tissue, function, or structure. Having the quality of declining or deteriorating progressively. The doctor diagnosed her with degenerative arthritis, which causes joint pain and stiffness. Degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's gradually impair cognitive function. Degenerative disc disease is a common cause of back pain in older adults. Smoking is known to accelerate degenerative changes in the lungs. The degenerative effects of aging can be mitigated with proper exercise and nutrition. Infection as noun. The invasion and multiplication of microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, or parasites that are not normally present within the body. The process of infecting or the state of being infected, especially by the presence of a pathogenic agent or microorganism. Antibiotics are used to treat bacterial infections. The doctor prescribed antibiotics to treat the bacterial infection in her throat, advising her to rest and stay hydrated. Hospital-acquired infections pose a significant risk to patients undergoing treatment. Good hygiene practices can help prevent the spread of infections. She developed a severe infection after a minor cut became contaminated. Syndrome as noun. A characteristic combination of attitudes, behaviors, or traits associated with a particular social or psychological condition. A group of symptoms that consistently occur together and characterize a particular condition or disease. Imposter syndrome is a psychological pattern in which individuals doubt their accomplishments and fear being exposed as frauds. Chronic fatigue syndrome is a condition characterized by persistent fatigue that is not alleviated by rest. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder characterized by intellectual disability and certain physical features. Irritable bowel syndrome is a gastrointestinal disorder characterized by abdominal pain, bloating, and changes in bowel habits. Stockholm syndrome is a psychological phenomenon in which hostages develop positive feelings toward their captors. Bacterial as adjective. Of or pertaining to bacteria, which are microscopic organisms that can be beneficial or harmful. Relating to or caused by bacteria. Bacterial colonies were observed under the microscope, indicating contamination in the water sample. Antibiotics are commonly used to treat bacterial infections such as strep throat and urinary tract infections. The scientists conducted research on bacterial diversity in soil ecosystems. Yogurt contains probiotics, which are live bacteria that can promote gut health. The hospital implemented strict hygiene protocols to prevent the spread of bacterial infections among patients. Metabolic as adjective. Pertaining to the body's metabolic rate or processes that regulate energy production and consumption. Relating to metabolism, the process of chemical reactions that occur within a living organism to maintain life. The athlete's high metabolic rate allowed him to burn calories quickly. Certain medications may affect metabolic processes in the body. Some foods are believed to have a positive impact on metabolic activity. Regular exercise can boost metabolic function and promote overall health. The doctor explained the patient's metabolic disorder and its effects on weight gain. Disorder as noun. A medical condition characterized by a disturbance in bodily or mental health, an illness or disease, a state of confusion, chaos, or lack of order, a disruption of normal functioning or organization. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, ADHD, is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects behavior and attention span. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is a mental health disorder that can develop after experiencing a traumatic event. The clutter and mess in his room indicated a disorderly lifestyle. The organization struggled with financial disorder due to mismanagement and corruption. The protest turned into a disorder when clashes broke out between demonstrators and police. Pandemic is noun, a situation or condition characterized by the widespread prevalence or occurrence of a particular phenomenon or problem, extending beyond local or regional boundaries. An outbreak of a disease that occurs over a wide geographic area and affects an exceptionally high proportion of the population, a global epidemic. Pandemics throughout history, such as the Black Death and the HIV/AIDS epidemic, have had profound social, economic, and political impacts. The Spanish flu pandemic of 1918 to 1919 infected an estimated one-third of the world's population. Climate change poses a pandemic risk, with its potential to disrupt ecosystems and exacerbate natural disasters on a global scale. The World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a pandemic on March 11, 2020, due to its rapid global spread. The threat of a cybersecurity pandemic, such as a large-scale cyberattack, looms over modern societies. Pathology is noun, abnormal or disease conditions within a biological organism or system. The presence of deviations from normal physiological functioning, often characterized by symptoms, signs, or pathological changes. The branch of medical science concerned with the study of diseases, their causes, mechanisms, processes, and effects on the body. The scientific discipline that investigates the nature and manifestations of diseases. The medical student was fascinated by the field of pathology and decided to specialize in it. The pathophysiology of diabetes mellitus is a key area of study in medical pathology. The textbook covers a wide range of topics in pathology, including cancer, infectious diseases, and autoimmune disorders. The hospital's pathology department analyzes blood samples to diagnose various hematological disorders. The study of the pathology of Alzheimer's disease aims to understand the underlying mechanisms and develop effective treatments. Epidemic as adjective, affecting or impacting a large number of people or entities within a short period, similar to the rapid spread of a contagious disease. Characterized by or relating to the occurrence of an epidemic, pertaining to a widespread outbreak of a disease. An epidemic increase in cybercrime has prompted businesses to enhance their cybersecurity measures. The government declared a state of emergency in response to the epidemic levels of air pollution. The hospital was overwhelmed by patients during the epidemic outbreak of the virus. The epidemic rise in housing prices has made homeownership increasingly unattainable for many. The epidemic nature of fake news on social media platforms has raised concerns about its impact on public discourse. Genetic as adjective, pertaining to the study or manipulation of genes and genetic information, often in the context of genetics research or genetic engineering. Relating to genes, heredity, or genetic material, particularly concerning the inheritance and transmission of traits from parents to offspring. Scientists are studying the genetic basis of intelligence and behavior. Genetic factors can influence an individual's susceptibility to certain diseases. Advances in genetic engineering have led to the development of genetically modified organisms with desired traits, such as drought resistance in crops. Genetic testing can identify mutations or variations in DNA associated with increased risk of genetic disorders. The twins inherited their mother's eye color and their father's hair texture, demonstrating genetic traits passed down from their parents. Fungal as adjective. Affected by or pertaining to a fungal infection or disease caused by fungi. Relating to or characteristic of fungi. A group of organisms that includes mushrooms, molds, and yeasts. Fungal diseases can affect plants, animals, and humans, causing a range of symptoms and health issues. The antifungal cream was effective in treating the fungal rash on her skin. He developed a fungal infection on his toenails after wearing tight shoes for too long. The damp conditions in the basement were perfect for fungal growth. The scientists conducted research on fungal spores and their dispersal mechanisms. Contagious as adjective. Capable of being transmitted from one person or organism to another, especially through direct or indirect contact. Spreading rapidly or widely by contact or influence. The flu virus is highly contagious, spreading easily from person to person. Her positive attitude was contagious, uplifting everyone around her. Rumors can be contagious, spreading quickly through social media and other channels. Laughter is contagious. One person's laughter often triggers laughter in others. The enthusiasm of the speaker was contagious, inspiring the audience to take action. Chronic as adjective. Of a disease, long-lasting and difficult to eradicate. Persisting for a long time or constantly recurring. Chronic unemployment in the region has led to economic hardship for many families. She suffers from chronic back pain, which has persisted for years despite various treatments. The company is facing chronic shortages of raw materials due to supply chain disruptions. His chronic procrastination often leads to missed deadlines and unfinished projects. Chronic stress can have detrimental effects on both physical and mental health. Prognosis is noun. A forecast or prediction of the likely course or outcome of a disease or situation, especially in terms of the chances of recovery. An assessment or estimation of the future prospects or developments of a situation or trend. The prognosis for resolving the conflict in the region remains uncertain, with ongoing diplomatic efforts. The doctor provided a grim prognosis for the patient's cancer, indicating a low chance of survival. Despite initial setbacks, the prognosis for the company's financial recovery is optimistic. Economic analysts have presented a positive prognosis for the country's GDP growth in the coming year. Meteorologists issued a weather prognosis warning of heavy rainfall and potential flooding. Acute as adjective. Having a keen perception or insight, sharp-minded. Having a sharp or severe effect, intense or severe. She showed acute awareness of the political situation, understanding its complexities better than most. Her acute sense of smell allowed her to detect the faintest odors in the air. The patient experienced acute pain in his chest, indicating a potential heart attack. The company faced an acute shortage of skilled workers, impacting production levels significantly. The doctor diagnosed him with an acute case of appendicitis, requiring immediate surgery. Incubation as noun. The period of time between exposure to an infectious agent and the appearance of symptoms of the associated illness. The process of maintaining something at the necessary conditions, such as temperature and humidity, for development or hatching, especially applied to the development of eggs or microorganisms. The yogurt culture requires a specific temperature for proper incubation to occur. The hospital implemented strict protocols for the incubation of bacterial samples in the laboratory. The company invested in a new incubation chamber to speed up the growth of microbial cultures. The hens sat on her eggs during the incubation period, keeping them warm until they hatched. The incubation period for the flu virus is typically 1 to 4 days. Disorder as verb. To disrupt the normal functioning or order of something. To cause chaos or confusion. To disturb or disrupt the usual state or arrangement of something. Stress and anxiety can disorder sleep patterns, leading to insomnia. Excessive alcohol consumption can disorder the body's metabolic processes and lead to health problems. His erratic behavior disordered the classroom environment, making it difficult for other students to focus. The sudden change in leadership disordered the company's operations and decision-making processes. The loud noise from the construction site disordered the peaceful atmosphere of the neighborhood. Epidemic is noun, a sudden and widespread occurrence of a particular undesirable phenomenon, such as a problem or trend, affecting many people at the same time. The rapid spread of a contagious disease within a specific population or geographical area, affecting a significantly higher number of individuals than usual. The epidemic of loneliness among the elderly highlights the importance of social connections for well-being. Health authorities implemented strict measures to contain the spread of the COVID-19 epidemic. The obesity epidemic is a growing concern, with rising rates of obesity-related health issues. The influenza epidemic of 1918, also known as the Spanish flu, resulted in millions of deaths worldwide. The opioid epidemic has led to a surge in overdose deaths across the country. Pandemic as adjective. Affecting or relating to a wide geographic area, typically spanning multiple countries or continents, prevalent or widespread on a global scale. Characterized by the rapid spread of a disease or condition across a large population, often resulting in high levels of illness, morbidity, and mortality. Efforts to contain the Ebola virus outbreak were complicated by its pandemic potential. Global health organizations coordinate responses to pandemics to minimize their impact on public health. The 1918 influenza pandemic, known as the Spanish flu, resulted in millions of deaths worldwide. The rapid spread of misinformation during pandemics can exacerbate fear and uncertainty among the population. The COVID-19 pandemic has had far-reaching effects on economies and societies worldwide. Level up your English. Master vocabulary, idioms, and phrasal verbs with fun quizzes. Translate meanings into 104 languages. Download now. Link in the description. Please like and subscribe to our channel.